Oh my god, a male human is staring at me. God, I'm so uncomfortable being stared at right now while I put this on TikTok, where millions of people are gonna be staring at me who are also men, while I wear the most revealing clothing that I don't necessarily have to wear because I want to look pretty so people can stare at me. Oh my god, what am I doing?
I don't know when this became a trend, but to God, I am so freaking annoyed with people doing this. Like, I only found out. I mean, I've heard of this happening before, but apparently it has, like, skyrocketed, and maybe that's because more people are calling it out because it's just gotten much worse, of women getting upset because men are looking at them when they're at the gym, because I guess it's a crime to look at people. Like, we're acting as though us ladies, when we see an attractive guy at the gym, that we're not freaking staring at him. Catch me on the freaking elliptical or the freaking treadmill doing my high intensity interval training and seeing some guy on another just take off his shirt, sweats pouring, freaking abs are popping, blonde, just, you know, you're gonna stare. Like, I try to stay concentrated on my work. I'm like, ideally, it's very distracting for people to take off their shirts. I think there's even supposed to be a policy against that, but there was a time where it happened, and I was like, okay. And I think he knew what he was doing because he looked back at me, and then it was just very like, really? You have to use the machine. We have 3 rows of the same machine. You couldn't use it to either say you had to get the one directly in front of me, like, but whatever. What would have been really out of pocket would be if this guy turned around in all of his freaking Thor, Ragnarok, whatever, and be like, excuse me? You're freaking staring at me. I'm so uncomfortable. Now, I get people are probably going to say, oh, it's because of misogyny and because men objectify women. We objectify men too. How is it those same girls? I've seen videos and I've heard people talk and even know people in real life that have a problem with men looking at them. Which, by the way, if they were freaking ugly and men weren't looking at them, they'd have a problem with that too. But anyway, they will have that problem. And then if a man comes up to them and he looks really ripped or whatever, like my friend Texas, I just call him Texas as a nickname. You know who you are if you just happen to stumble upon my video. But he was a skater boy, but he was kind of ripped. You know, he was like lean ripped. And we used to hang out and we weren't dating or anything like that. But this girl didn't know that. But she's also the kind of person that's like, men this, men that, blah, blah, blah. Texas comes up beside me. I introduce them. We're all hanging out. She's with her friends. And she's like, ooh, you know, you got something. I can't remember the entire conversation. She, without his consent, just starts feeling up on his biceps. And I think they just start talking about something. Texas didn't necessarily look uncomfortable, but he was kind of like, okay. And I don't know. I might be clueless about this. He probably liked me at the time and probably felt a little awkward based on his body language because I was there and he probably didn't want to, I guess, ruin the friendship or something. I didn't like him like that. He was cute, but whatever. But yeah, she asked him another question. He's like, yeah. And then I shit you not, this same girl who has a problem with men objectifying women lifts up his tank top thing, his shirt, vest, whatever you call it, the shirts that don't have sleeves, and starts feeling on his abs. And the rest of us are just standing around looking at each other, very uncomfortable because it just came out of nowhere. And Tex is just, look on his face. And she was all like, I forgot what she said, but she was basically salivating over him because he did have some nice abs. That was the first time me seeing them. And I was like, oh, damn. Okay. Very forward. Are you the same person who did it? Just, so for people being all high and mighty saying that women don't objectify men, it's a load of bullshit. And for these freaking TikTok chicken heads that are making these videos and upset because men are staring at them, newsflash, you have a TikTok account on a social platform where you particularly curtailed your fashion selection to look as tight and snatched as possible so men can look at you. Unless you're somebody who is attracted to women and you were trying to get women to look at you, what did you think was going to happen? I've gone to the gym and not dressed like that. What she's wearing looks freaking uncomfortable. Maybe it's comfortable for her, but I goddamn know that when you were doing a bunch of stuff like weights and cardio and all that stuff. I tried wearing spandex. It's very uncomfortable. Now, people do have different tastes. I do understand that. But let's not pretend that you didn't dress the way you dressed for your TikTok audience, who, by the way, judging from how you dressed and how you were trying to market yourself, you know are mostly men. Stop the cap.
Mercedes, is he so uncomfortable? Feral, like fucking feral.
You're the one who's acting like a feral person or animal or beast or whatever it is that you're talking about, because you took your phone to the gym specifically to catch people staring at you, knowing that other people would stare at you because you were recording them. This is attention seeking to the umpteenth degree, and it's so deplorable.
There's mirrors everywhere, so it's like you can easily catch people. Oh, this is nothing.
So you admit you're making this just to catch people staring at you?
I want you to watch very carefully. £5. This is it. Great. Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay. No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though.
So he's a creep for offering to help you? And he wasn't staring at you the whole time. You manipulated the entire video to make it look as, yes, see, look, he's staring at me the whole time. When in fact, we see him look over and look away. But let's just say this was a case, because it's a girl who's been approached by guys at the gym as well. Yes, that is a thing that happens. I've also seen videos of girls approaching guys at the gym while they're in the middle of their workout as well. I've also acknowledged if I see pretty guys or other pretty girls at the gym as well, because they are human. We are human. You're going to acknowledge that someone's attractive. The irony is so freaking rich that you are getting upset about someone staring at you every now and then while you are recording them to put them on the internet and lambast them and make them look like they're a creep when you know nothing about that person merely because they happen to look at you. Come on, hypocrite, let me hear you say that you have never looked at a guy who was attractive before in the gym. Or anywhere for that matter. Or regardless, if you like girls, let me see you say, let me dare see you say, or hear you say, that you have not looked at a pretty girl in the gym that you're attracted to. Oh my God. And she comes up from her freaking reps and sees you looking at her. Do you think it would have been fair for her to be like, oh my God, this girl is so creepy, let me put her on the internet and let me show all my freaking millions of TikTok followers how creepy she is? What would you have thought? What would have been your thoughts simply because you looked at her and maybe it's somebody you had a crush on? Let's say you liked this girl for the longest while, you had a crush on her, right? And you're like, you know what? I mean, I like her, and I know this is the gym, but can't hurt to try, right? So let me actually make conversation. She shoots me down, she shoots me down. You go over, and this other girl is like, no. Or she's like, I'm not into girls, or something like that. And then puts you on the internet and basically almost ruins your life. That is totally sociopathic behavior. And this whole attention-seeking way of trying to make people look worse than they actually are is highly narcissistic. Trying to make everyone out to be the enemy, when in fact, you're trying to distract people from realizing you are in fact the narcissist. It's very toxic behavior. But the other funny thing about it is now we've created this culture where now guys can't even go up to girls if they like them. I personally like if guys come up to me. If I'm not interested or I'm in a relationship, I will say no thank you, which I've done before with guys at the gym. There's this one guy that I did end up talking with, but different religion and all that stuff, wasn't feeling it afterwards. You don't go for the gym for that reason, but if you do come across people, you're in a place where there are going to be other people, other guys and girls, who are going to either find you attractive or want to strike up conversation with you, because that possibly might be the only place where they really are free to have social conversation. If it triggers you to the point where you feel as though you want to commit violence against someone, then maybe you have no business being in a public gym. Maybe you should have a home gym and be by yourself, or come at hours where people are hardly there. I got sick of guys coming up to me at the gym, but you know what I did? I went when it was really, really freaking late. It was annoying, but I went when it was late and I brought other machines at home that I can use so I don't always have to be at the gym. And I don't think those guys were creepy at all. Nothing about what any of those guys who approached me did was creepy. They came up to me, they either tried to help me and they asked me out to lunch, or they would just strike a conversation with me and I would tell them, hey, I'm in a relationship, or hey, I'm working out, I don't want to talk while I'm working out, or I can talk to you afterwards, or whatever the case is. But, you know, and you know what they all did? Every single one of them, except for that one guy who was like, oh, you know, he was still kind of pushing a little bit. But most of them were like, okay, they respected that, and they walked away. They shoot their shot, and they walked away. That was all there is to it. If a girl had come up to me in the gym and done the same thing, I would have done the same thing. You know, because most people who go to the gym, like normal human beings, don't sit there on their freaking phones for their fucking TikTok. And like the last thing I want is to be going to the gym and some bitch is recording me in the fucking background to show to her millions of followers. You go to the gym to work out and to go home. If you happen to make conversation with people on the way, whatever. It's the fucking gym. God, it's so infuriating and so infantile. It makes me nauseous, and it actually is like, it actually makes me concerned because I don't want people to look at me going to the gym and then they're like, is she one of those girls that does that? I might have my phone out and I might prop my phone up because I'm listening to music or watching a movie while I'm on the treadmill. And I don't want people thinking I'm one of those people because of stupid idiots like this. And I know it seems kind of harsh me saying this about this individual, but the shit she says afterwards just makes me lose all respect. Look at the vile, sociopathic, monstrously heinous, NAZI-ish things she says. What if I just ripped his pee-pee out of its socket so he can never reproduce again? What? Imagine if a guy caught you staring at him at the gym and he said, what if I just rip her breasts off her chest so she can never freaking feed her child or never feel like she's beautiful again, or freaking smash her face into the wall? You don't, the fact that you posted this is a huge problem and just means that you need freaking help. You need a therapist. You should not be out in public with people if this is the way that you think and if you're willing to post that this is the way that you think. It is crazy. Then she says, oh my God, you cannot make this up. People like this actually exist and go out in public and think that this is okay. It says, this is why I don't want kids. Natural selection better take these weirdos out. He's going to jail for staring at an underage 21-year-old. Oh my God. This is worse than... What in the mental aggravated assault was that freaking sentence? He's going to jail for staring at an underage 21-year-old? If you're 21, hate to break it to you, sweetie, but you're not underage. You cannot use underage and 21-year-old in the same sentence. And I think you probably thought that adding any of those words, but using them on their own was going to sound stupid. So you decided to do the ever more stupid thing and combine them, which really makes it look like you really shouldn't be on any of these platforms.
See what I mean? Alright, here we go. Let's go to the gym, girls. I need to go with some girlfriends. This is ridiculous.
I wonder why you don't have any. You know, I don't know where this person lives. I don't care to know where they live. But if you're in a country or an area that does have female-only gyms available, just go there. Seek them out and go there. You know, go at the times that are appropriate. Or, I don't know, go see a therapist as to why you're so triggered when other human beings merely stare at you or do the very natural thing that human beings do, which is to go up to you and ask you if you want help. Or go up to you if they're interested and try to make conversation, which you can then say, hey, I decline to have conversation with you in a polite manner, because I don't know why it requires you being rude for you to get your point across unless that person is being aggravating. Like it or not, we live in the freaking real world, and human beings are gonna look. We are visual creatures. We're gonna look. I mean... So what, you go to a girls-only gym and you find out that someone who is a girl who likes you does exactly the same thing this guy does, and what, you're gonna give them the same treatment? Of course you're not, because she's a girl. As someone who was inappropriately taken advantage of throughout my childhood, I'm not even triggered with people freaking staring at me in the gym. Yeah, can it be uncomfortable when you're just trying to work out and, you know, you start to feel nervous or something when people are looking at you? Of course it can. But to expect the world to just stop spinning to accommodate how you feel is very unrealistic, and it just spells that you haven't grown up, and maybe you shouldn't have left the nest. You're not ready. Go back and grow some wings, and go grow the fuck up. Like, I don't think these people realize how on the edge of creating a defamation lawsuit for themselves they are on. I can't take any much more of this. It's just, I do not like bullies. I don't care what gender you are. I think it's sick to treat people like this. And it's not just a girl thing too. I've seen men who make videos to rile people up or to rile girls up specifically for a reaction. Like that one guy who pepper sprayed a girl. I think he was directly antagonizing women to get a reaction out of them. And when he's harassing and being very inappropriate with them and antagonizing them, then he sprays them. When she tries to defend herself, he pepper sprays her. And it's like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, and people like that shouldn't be allowed outside. It doesn't matter what sex you are. So before you freaking assholes come out here and be all like, you have internalized misogyny, shut the fuck up and go sit down. I am not the fucking one. I'm sorry. I just got really unprofessional, but I have to be fucking honest. It's really annoying. It's really annoying, and it's making the rest of us women look bad. All of us do not act like this, but the very few that come out with stuff like this and bully other people is making it bad for the rest of us. So in the event where weak little me, who's 5'2", does need help with something, I'm afraid to ask because I'm afraid the man's gonna think it's a trap, or men are not gonna approach and wanna help me because they're gonna think it's a trap. They're gonna be second guessing themselves. I'm also very upset about it because I have a father, and I have 2 brothers, and I have males who are friends, and I have a husband, and I know it's crazy to some people, but the way that you treat other men, would you be okay with other people treating your male family members like that? Really think about it now. If you live in a world where people are not allowed to look at you while also recording on your phone for the whole world to look at you, and you have a problem with people doing it you're a fucking hypocrite, and you're a fucking narcissist, and you're a sociopath. Put down your phone, go get an education, or finish the education you didn't finish. I need to go. I need to seriously go.